I'm Eric Hollenbeck. Welcome to Tales from the Ox. Hi folks, I'm Eric. I'm here today to tell a story, and I'm using this bench as our backdrop because of the chaos. We're making curved double-hung windows. You can see the originals that we're starting with. And this is a frame being glued up. This is a rail, see the tenon on it to go into the stiles. And I thought this was a good backdrop for this story. This happened in 2017, so 9 years ago. And I'm still grappling with it today. And we'll get there. I started going to the VA in 2013, and in 2017, one of my platoon members from Vietnam made contact with me, Dodie Gaines, and Dodie had an order for the air medal recipients for the August 3rd, 1968 airborne assault that we made into the Ashaw Valley, where only two choppers hit the ground. First chopper and my chopper, and then we got attacked, and they called off the entire assault for a while the Cobras came in. I think I've told that story. There were 10 of us on the ground. Well, we got awarded the air medal out of that, and in the order there was 10 of us, and in the order, Eric Hollenbeck was there. So Dodie asked me, "Did you ever get your air medal?" Here's the orders for it from 1969, and I said, no, Well, that gnawed on me for a while. So finally I went into the county VA lady and showed her the orders and asked her what I should do, and she said, "Let us do it, and we will submit for a review and send it to the Department of Army Board for Corrections of Military Records." And she said, "Don't get your hopes up, but we'll do it. And we'll ask them to look for all of your records and look at all your records." Well, that was in early 2017, so almost a year goes by. I don't hear anything, and it's not a big deal to me. And I mean that sincerely, folks. It wasn't. It had an importance, but not a huge importance. It sure wasn't a hill I was going to die on, for sure. So my birthday rolls around, December 4th, 2017. It happens to be a Sunday. I'm going to take the day off, and Viv and I are going to maybe go to the beach or go to breakfast or something. But I came down here to feed animals. And being a Saturday is the day before, and that is a mail day, I checked the mail. And what to my lowly behold did appear? but this manila envelope from the Department of Army. And I opened the envelope and read it. And basically, in all this legal beagle talk that they had, they said that Title 10 U.S. Code Section 1552 provides that applications for correction of military records must be filed within 3 years after discovery of alleged error or injustice. Well, I was delinquent about 45 years of that 3-year period. Then they go on to say, however, in the interest of justice, the ABC has elected to conduct a full review of this case. And then the rest of it goes on to tell about what they found, and that I haven't been given. And they of course found the Air Medal Award. They also they took away my service, my Vietnam combat ribbon, and replaced it with a Vietnam combat ribbon with 3 Bronze Stars. 3 unit citation Bronze Stars on it, for the 3 campaigns that we were in. And see, you know, I've told you that I was in the jungle the whole time, and I don't know if people really believe that or really understand it, but here's the 3 campaigns. January 30th to April 1st. That was the Tet counteroffensive campaign. April 2nd to June 30th, that was the Vietnam counteroffensive campaign 4. And July 1st to November 1st was the Vietnam counteroffensive campaign 5. You see, there ain't no days in between. It goes from one day and stops, and the next day is a new campaign. We didn't never come out. So I was awarded, let's see, where is it? They changed my DD-214, and I got the expert rifleman for the expert rifleman bar for the M16 and M14. I got the Air Medal campaign, the Air Medal for the assault that we did. The Vietnam Service Medal and his participation in 3 campaigns authorizes him these 3 Bronze Stars to wear on his medal. The service stars are shown in his DD-214, and the RVN Gallantry Cross with Palm Unit citation, and the RVN Civil Actions Honor Medal First Class Unit citation. So you can see the difference in the 2 uniforms. And I'll tell first about how the snafu happened. I think. See, when I got back, I got pulled out of the jungle 2 months before my tour was over, and sent back home and released from the Army on a hardship discharge, honorable hardship discharge. My dad died while I was in Vietnam, kind of at the very first, and my mom had a breakdown and couldn't work. When I got home, the house was 4 months in foreclosure, and the bank was holding off because they knew I was coming home. That's why I got home at 5 o'clock at night from Oakland. I hitchhiked home to save money. I had been sending all my money home to help support my mom and younger brother. And then I hitchhiked home, and I was standing in my mom's kitchen at 5 o'clock Saturday night, and I went to work 5 o'clock Monday morning for the exact same company that I had been drafted from. And all that was all pre-set up. That they knew I was coming home. That's why the bank hadn't foreclosed. All of that was set up. So I think it all happened so fast that the Army couldn't catch up. And you'll see on the picture of my uniform when I came home, all I have is that one bar of ribbons. Yeah. So now that error has been corrected, and it still isn't important to me, but what is important to me, and what I have been grappling with for 9 years now, is finding out that the Army did indeed know who we were, the 68 of us. They not only knew who we were, they knew where we were. And they not only knew where we were, they knew what we were going through and kept a record of it. And they not only kept a record of it, somebody wrote it down. I didn't see no guy in the jungle behind me with a clipboard. I didn't see that happening. Well, somebody wrote it down. And somebody else saved it, and somebody else filed it, and 46 years later, somebody else found it. Can you see how big a deal that is to me? All of a sudden, we became important. I thought we were just cannon fodder. I thought they didn't, they cared about us. I knew that, but they cared about us, and every 7 days would find out where we were and send food and ammunition out. But in my mind, they were just looking at how many less sea rations do we send this time for the casualties they took this week. It just seemed like we were written off. We were never supposed to come out of there. We were expendable. That's what it seemed like. And then to have this happen and find out that there was a record being kept somewhere. people did care. What we did was important and meaningful. And I had had almost 50 years of thinking one way and all of a sudden have to think another way, or realize that the way I was thinking wasn't correct. It wasn't the whole story. Yeah, it was, it's still hard for me to get my head around. And at the time, it just about broke me. Holy Toledo. I didn't know what to think anymore. You see, Vietnam's the only war this ever happened in. Modern war. In World War II, the average time a soldier was in the front was 48 days. Because we were taking land. We were advancing and taking land. So there was a rear to go to. So then they would be pulled back and be in the rear and be support in other ways. And so it averaged out 48 days out of the year. Same way in Korea, we were taking land. So you could drop back a little bit and you were safe and in the rear. The modern the wars that the young people are doing today, we're taking land, so there's a rear. In Vietnam, we didn't take land. We just went through the jungle from one place to the next, never staying. We would fight like banshees to take a hilltop, camp on the hilltop one night, and then march off of it. Not march off, but go off of it the next day. Well, who do you think came right back onto the hilltop again? So we were 322 days straight in combat. Everywhere we went was combat. There was no rear to pull back to. So you could see how I thought as a young boy, as a young man, that we were just, they didn't care. We were just expendable. And then almost 50 years later, I find out, no, they not only cared, but they wrote it down somewhere. And they kept it. So in the interest of justice, the Army decided to dig it up again. God bless them for doing that. Okay, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll bring you videos on the curved windows when we get farther down the road. So I also wanted to do a little promo work. You can find my book on Vietnam, Uncle Sam's Tour Guide to Southeast Asia, on Amazon now. And we'll put the link to it down in the body. This is a story of my getting drafted and going to Vietnam and coming back. And it's written in my rhyming, kind of like Robert Service and the Tales of the Arctic. But it's basically one long continuous story of what happened. So if you're interested in Vietnam, here's a read for you, Uncle Sam's Tour Guide to Southeast Asia. Thanks for watching.